Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder, and I have a story for you. This one is from Aita and is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Saying My Sister-in-Law's Way of Grieving Isn't Healthy at All and Being Concerned for My Niece? My brother Roger and his wife Sandra had their first daughter around 5 months ago. It's been amazing, mainly for my parents who are pleased that my brother has been open to letting them in my niece's life. My parents weren't the best when growing up, and Roger cut them off for nearly 16 years, so we're glad our family is healing slowly but surely. Before my brother, she was married to another guy who she hated. I never got the full scoop till about 2 years into their relationship. What happened was her ex-husband was supposed to watch their 5-year-old son as she had work and instead got drunk and passed out on the couch, and the boy ran out in the street and got hit and died. Holy, what the? I've always felt sorry for her as I couldn't imagine losing my own child, especially that young. The only problem I have is my sister-in-law's attitude when it comes to my niece. She started to treat my niece as if she's her son reborn, saying things like she and Nico, son's name, had the same smile, claiming she's doing things he did when he was born. From the few times I've seen her, I don't live close to my brother, so I can't see them as regularly as my other family. She's either tearing up and saying she wished Nico could have seen his baby sister and how good of a big brother he would have been. It started bothering me. Hold on, time out. Nothing that we've heard so far is dangerous at all. It's like, oh, they look alike. Oh, I wish he could be here to see his little sister. Nothing seems unhealthy yet. I don't want my niece in some sort of therapy doll as she's her own person. I talked to my parents and my siblings about this, and they agree, saying that they're scared in the future my niece won't be anything, just Nico 2.0. I decided to talk to Roger about it. We invited him to dinner. Luckily, Sandra couldn't make it and stayed home with my niece. I was direct and told him I think her actions are toxic and he should get her checked out mentally. My brother asked everyone if that's what they thought, and they said yes. Then he asked everyone if any of us had lost a kid. If any of us had gone to work as a parent and came back to a dead child. He said, no, we haven't. So we couldn't understand what she's feeling. He said postpartum has been hell on her, and she's not using my niece as a therapy doll. She's just feeling guilty and sad about Nico's. He said she just points out small things and obviously knows that my niece and Nico are two different people. He said she's vulnerable right now and only needs love and reassurance that she's a good mom and is doing right by her daughter. And since we can't give her that, he'd like us to stay away from him for a while. He then left and had us blocked on most things. I don't think I was wrong. I'm genuinely concerned for my niece. Am I the astronaut? Okay, hold up. I didn't hear anything unhealthy in here at all. And can you imagine losing a child, having another child, and not being emotional, not being reliving all of the good moments, not fixating on the bad, reliving the good moments and being like, I recognize that smile, that. I wish he were here to meet his little sister. They have these similarities. They do things similarly. What is unhealthy about that? Nothing here, in my opinion, was unhealthy at all. And for this person to be able to judge that with limited interaction and to say, I don't get to see them much, but the few times I've been there, it really bothers me, and I really had to just jump up and say something. So jumps up and says something. Meddles in an area where OP has no clue what's going on. I mean, as far as we can tell, OP doesn't have kids. OP has no idea what they're talking about. They're just bothered. They're like, quit talking about some kid I don't know anything about in relation to my niece. It's not your child, number one. It's your niece. Number two, this is just a shitty thing to do. Just a shitty thing to do. Yeah. 3 was definitely not severe enough. Candy Thunder, in true Sunday night fashion, would you please come up and give us your thoughts here? Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the stream today, and for the first time on a Monday live, Candy Thunder. A Monday day live. I guess we have done a Monday night live before, haven't we?
I don't think I've been there. But...
Hello! Tata.
I wonder what this person would think of this fact that I still grieve my miscarriages for babies that could never be. Because they feel like they are just... I feel like if you've never lost a child, you don't get to judge someone like this, especially after they just had a baby, and all of the hormones that she's feeling make you so emotional, you cry for no reason, you get angry for no reason, and it's just all flooding through your body. And the fact that they are trying to say that this woman needs therapy because she's still, you don't ever stop grieving the loss of a child. ever. That would never stop. And to think that you're not going to want to have your child there to see their new sibling, or to say that this, I mean, we did that with children that are still alive, and saying that Navy, you know, their smile looks like
Yes.
this, or their smile looks like that.
But you're not allowed to because the child isn't here anymore? Like what?
No, I don't. And I do. I compare my children all the time, like, and not in a unhealthy way, but in like Navy does this and Ava did this,
Oh, you'll notice
Navy
a smile in a picture, and it's like, oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, she looks just like Kieran in this picture. Like, that is not unhealthy, and to deem those things unhealthy, we're not comparing in the way that, in the person that they are, just in the way that they relate to our family. And I feel like that's what she did as a mom, and that is not unhealthy. OP did not list anything here. I don't know if OP is a brother or sister, but OP did not list anything here that seems unhealthy. I feel like comparing the smile of two kids is a very, very normal thing to do.
It's not. OP pitched it in the beginning like she was going to be dressing her daughter up in boys' clothes and calling her Nico. Like,
yes,
you know, like trying to truly,
right. Yes,
truly create a therapy doll. And that's not at all what happened. Yeah. Everything was healthy. It's just, it doesn't make sense why someone would have such a negative, judgmental response to this.
I think.
Why does it bother them so bad?
I think what it boils down to is that, in my opinion, it sounds like this family has never experienced loss in that way. Like, if you've never experienced what it's like to have someone like just ripped away from you without any like prior, you know, like not someone that is sick, but to lose someone, like, you know, I was like 11 and I lost my aunt who was 18, and like it was just a car wreck and it happened so fast. And to this day, we still like grieve the loss of her. Like, we miss her in our family, and I can't imagine not having those feelings. Like, I can't imagine not wondering what it would be like if she was here. Like, and I think that's a healthy way to remember somebody, not negative. And I think that these people don't have that. Like, if you had that, you would understand it, but they don't have that loss where they and they're not even trying to understand.
It almost seems like OP is judging her for even having the loss. Because it's like, remove the loss from the scenario here. If her child was still here, if Nico was still here, and she was comparing smiles and she was like saying these things, no issue at all. It would not be an issue. But because this child isn't here, it's like that's a mark against her in OP's eyes, and OP is judging her for having this loss. Like, heaven forbid, OP, you ever experience a loss.
That's what that's exactly where I was going. I think to them, Nico means nothing, right? This child never existed to them. They don't understand it. They don't see it. But to the husband, green flag, by the way, to the husband who, you know, stood up for his wife and stuff, like he chose to be in a relationship with this woman, and he understands that he's trying to be there for his wife because he took that on. When you are with somebody who has lost something like that, you are agreeing to take that on, and he did that for her, and he stood up for her. But this family is not even trying to see it. They're not even trying to pretend that it existed. They're just like, yeah, we don't like the way you're talking to our niece.
Green flag for hubby. Yes. Finally hitting the button. But also, pulling it back to the point I was trying to make before about the family doesn't see it. They see a negative just because that loss exists. Like, again, if Nico was still here, they wouldn't have an issue with any of the things that she's saying. Because she has this loss, everything has a negative connotation to them. Yeah. Everything.
Here, what Isabella said, they're uncomfortable with her grief. That's what it boils down to. I think what you said.
Then don't be around.
You said that in 5 words, what we tried to say in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
They're uncomfortable with her grief, and it's kind of gross, honestly.
It is gross. However, there is like an element of understanding to it because grief is uncomfortable for everyone.
For sure, 100%.
For everyone, for people to witness, for people to experience, grief is got to be one of the most uncomfortable things that you will ever experience in life.
If you don't understand it, or if you don't know what to say or do, reach out to somebody who has experienced loss before and ask them what helped them in that situation. How could I be better? Like, we've talked about this before on a stream, but to understand, nobody knows how to act. Nobody knows what to do. Why do you think there's so much food? Like, everybody wants to help, but they don't know how to help. So I think communicating with people who, once they're through that, or have gone through something like that, I think asking them what helped you the most, how could I help other people going through this?
That's if you have an interest in helping, which
Yeah.
which OP does not. Yeah, and there was a mention of postpartum as well. So postpartum is what's reigniting this fire, right? So everything is
sure.
amplified.
For sure,
Everything
100%.
is in yeah, I mean, remove postpartum from the scenario, still, like just having a brand new baby, you're going to be very emotional about everything anyway, right? Notwithstanding the postpartum side of things. So it's just amplified and amplified and amplified here. Where would you put OP? I mean, I want to say 1, but is ignorance an element here that hedges against the evil part of it, or is the ignorance no excuse? And this is you're an ASCON 1, do better.
Right. I think it's a 2. I think I would just encourage people to educate themselves on stages of grief and how you can help other people through it. And yes, people grieve differently. I totally understand that, but at least start somewhere, right? Like start somewhere and trying to understand how you can help others if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't do what this family did, because this is not the way to understand it.
Judging
Right.
is not
Right.
I don't know, but there was no interest to help either. That kind of leans me toward a 1. So it's like, because there was no interest in helping or understanding at all.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing it. I'm here at a 1.